What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Buck, and I'm here to give you a commentary here today. The video you're going to see in the background is a hardcore team deathmatch on Battlefield 4, and I'm playing with my clan, Warriors of Recon, but I'm not here to talk Battlefield 4. I'm here to talk H-Hour. Many of you know me from the SOCOM scene. I was around since SOCOM 1. Played them all. Love the PS2 versions of it, especially the first two. SOCOM 1 was my favorite SOCOM of all time. The PS3 versions were a big letdown, but now we have David Sears back. He's making H-Hour, and I think we're all going to be satisfied with the game that we're getting. I wanted to touch on a couple topics. We know that the demo for the game is done. It's in, it's complete. They're showing it to potential investors now, and we've had a couple clips from that. We have the SOF forums, and I put their website down in the description, and you can go to the website, look at the forums. And there was also a Twitch broadcast where we got kind of an update, and David Sears, Russ Phillips, and some of the other guys there, and they gave us a lot of insight of what was going on. They answered questions, and I'm really appreciative of them doing that, because a lot of development studios, they don't take the time to do that, so I'm very appreciative of that. But there's been a couple topics floating around that I wanted to really touch on and give my opinion on, and some of you guys may or may not share the same opinions as I do, but you can share your thoughts down in the comment section below. One of the main things that's been floating around here lately is the subject of auto aim. Like I said, I'll link the description to the Twitch broadcast down in the description below, and you can go and check it out. And David Sears mentioned auto aim, and in that description, he said something along the lines of, to entice new players to come in, if they want something that was a little bit more forgiving, something a little bit more respawn heavy, maybe a little auto aim, that we can do that. And I think he kind of had a slip of the tongue. I don't really think he's going to put auto aim in this game, and he's been on the record. You can go to his Twitter and see some of the comments he's made when people called him out about the auto aim. I don't think we're gonna have auto aim in this game, and I don't think it has a place in this game. And the reason I say that is because H-Hour is going to be a third-person tactical shooter. The gun battles that go down in H-Hour will be similar to the gun battles that go down in SOCOM. Those gun battles are strafe heavy, strafing back and forth, left and right, jumping up and down. Having auto aim takes away from that, and it diminishes that, and it will really hurt the core gameplay in H-Hour. And I don't want to really go into the subject that much. I don't want to really put a lot of time into the subject, because I don't believe it'll be in the game. I don't believe we should be in an uproar about this at this point in time, because when we get to the beta, we can tell. And if it's in the beta, that will be the point to say, hey, this needs to go. And I don't believe that will be in the game at all. But I'll move on to my second topic, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. This is the topic of push to talk versus open mic. And a lot of the older SOCOM players, the quote-unquote SOCOM vets, and I guess you can throw me in that category as well, we don't want the open mic system, and we've given many reasons why. And a lot of the rebuttals to our reasons are, this isn't SOCOM, this is H-Hour, this is a different game. That is completely true. H-Hour is not SOCOM 2 HD. It's not SOCOM HD. This is the spiritual successor to SOCOM. And in my eyes, where H-Hour fits in the grand scheme of things is right behind SOCOM 2. To me, it takes the place of SOCOM 3. It's what SOCOM 3 should have been. Whether you like SOCOM 3 or not, that's a debate for another story. We're not gonna talk about that at this point in time. We're strictly talking about this subject of the open mic system. I'm all for implementing new things into the game that can enhance the game. And I'll talk more about that in my third topic. But in the topic of open mics, I don't believe open mics have a place in this game. Many people say that in the Call of Duty series or in Battlefield, there's open mic systems, and it fits those games for what those games are. Even competitive Call of Duty, and I know a lot of people think competitive Call of Duty is a joke, whether you say that or not. There's a tournament for $1,000,000. It's not really that big of a joke. They have a competitive community, whether we like it or not. Competitive Call of Duty, you have 4 players on a team. So at any given point in time, there can be 4 players talking, and if you're not talking, there's 3 other players talking. For the H-Hour / SOCOM series, it doesn't fit because there's 8 players on the team. There's double the amount of people on the team. There can be 7 other players talking at once, and that will just clutter the mic to the point to where you cannot take the call out that you need and accurately apply it to the game. That's one reason I believe open mics should not be in this game at all. If you have someone, say we're playing a map like Crossroads, and you have a call out that says there's a guy in the bell tower, and at the same time you have someone saying there's a guy in the fish market, where do I look? Am I to assume that there's a guy going from the fish market to the bell tower, a guy going from the bell tower to the fish market? Are there 2 separate guys, one in the bell tower, one in the fish market? It gets confusing, and it gets cluttered. And I didn't even touch on the topic of the ambient noise. You'll have the ambient noise of 8 different people on the microphone at any given point in time. Everyone's wives or kids or dogs or roommates or brothers or sisters, whatever you may have, you'll be able to hear all that going on in the background. And for the people who will say, well, you can just mute those guys, that diminishes the purpose of having the mic in a tactical shooter. I shouldn't have to mute someone because of what's going on in the background. I may mute a person for them just being annoying, but I want to keep everyone unmuted just in case they have information that will help me get a kill or will keep me alive. That's why I believe push to talk is a must. Being able to concisely and accurately tell a person information that will help them and benefit the team is one of the features that made SOCOM what it was, and that will make H-Hour be the game that we expect it to be. I know there's party chat, people will use Skype, but a lot of the original SOCOM clans that are moving over to H-Hour, if there was clans that we knew used Skype, we didn't play those clans. Not for the fact that they were better than us, but for the simple fact that we wanted to be on the same playing field. A lot of those clans, even when they used their Skype and played, some clans that played legit, quote unquote, they still got beat. Just because you use Skype doesn't mean you're a more hardcore or better team than someone who doesn't. Push to talk, it's an absolute must. Someone who's dead should not be allowed to convey a message to someone who's alive. My last topic that I want to talk about is weapon customization, and the vast majority of the community is opposed to this. Me personally, I'm not, as long as it's implemented the proper way. This is one of those innovations that I think can enhance the game. SOCOMs 1 and 2, you had your layout. If you had an M4A1, it had the generic scope. That was it. An M4A1 SD, it had the generic scope, and it had a suppressor. That was it. I actually like how Confrontation had the weapon customization. Aside from the specialists or specialization package that they put in, that kind of ruined it for the majority of us. But being able to apply 2 attachments to a gun, I don't think that diminishes the game if it's implemented properly. And when I say implemented properly, I mean it shouldn't be an unlock system. You shouldn't have to get 10 kills with the weapon to get this scope, or reach level 20 and you get this attachment. All the attachments should be unlocked from the beginning of the game, and you should be allowed to customize your weapon the way you see fit. You should be allowed to put 2 attachments on. If you want a scope and a suppressor, you shouldn't be limited to a medium scope and a suppressor. You should be able to pick if you want an ACOG scope, or if you want a red dot sight and you want a suppressor. That should be fine. It doesn't diminish or take away from the gameplay. I don't want overpowered attachments, things like that Call of Duty has, and I'm sorry to keep referring back to Call of Duty, but like extended mags, or the target finder scopes, or things like that that shouldn't be in this type of game. But having, you know, a foregrip, if I want to have an M4A1 with a foregrip and a suppressor, I should be allowed to do that, especially on a map if it resembles Frostfire, where the combats are very close quarters. The engagements, you're running around a corner. If you're in the tunnels or if you're in the computer room, the engagements are close quartered. You may not need that scope, but if I'm playing a map like Desert Glory, where the lines of sights are a little bit longer, I'll need that scope. So I may want to put a medium scope and a foregrip. But every attachment should have a pro and a con. With a suppressor, it lowers the amount of damage that the gun ultimately has as its output, but it takes me off the radar if I'm firing the gun. So you have to weigh the pros and cons for each attachment, and I believe that's how it should be in H-Hour. It doesn't diminish from the core gameplay, and I know a lot of the older SOCOM guys may not agree with me when it comes to weapon customization, but I believe that's an innovation that can be applied to this game that does not hurt the game. So just let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Give me your thoughts. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. This was my first gameplay commentary, and it had to be on H-Hour for me, just because I'm a SOCOM fanboy. I want to see H-Hour succeed, and I think it will succeed. I think it will do good because a lot of the community is giving good feedback, and SOF Studios is taking that feedback and they're applying it to their game. They are listening to us, so let me know what you guys think. My Twitter will be down in the description. You can follow me on Twitter. You can subscribe if you want to subscribe, and you can check out some of my other content. Also, I'll link SOF's Twitter down below, also their website, and a link to the Twitch broadcast that I mentioned earlier in the video. So thanks so much for watching. Peace.